What's up, everybody? It's Kevin here from Happy Beard Games, and today I'm going to talk to you about last week when I went to an arcade in Portland, Oregon. Now, the arcade that I went to is Ground Control, classic arcade. And this place, Ground Control, is my favorite arcade of all time that I've been to personally. It's not necessarily the biggest arcade I've been to, but when I went back this time, it's after their remodeling. So they added a lot more content, a lot more games, a lot more space and area for the building. And that also equals more pinball machines, more arcade games. There's another bar as well. There's a big screen. There's a lot of cool stuff there now. Ground Control is located in Portland, Oregon, and what it mainly features on is pinball machines. Yes, they have pinball machines and pinball tournaments, but Ground Control also features many classic arcade games as well. Everything from Donkey Kong, Donkey Kong Jr., Mario Bros., A Play Choice 10, all the way through Return of the Jedi by Atari, and even games like Turtles Arcade, as well as some new games such as Star Wars Battle Pods and the new Ninja Turtles arcade game, which is on a very big screen at that place. So they have lots of variety there. They have a few new games, they have many classic arcade games, and a lot of pinball. But there's also a lot more fun to have there. You can have fun with your friends if you bring a friend. I was personally going by myself this day, which was actually, I think, the first time I've been there by myself. So I had some time to record some footage for you guys. So what you're going to be seeing here in a few moments is some direct footage of me pretty much just walking through the arcade, showing some of the machines, and maybe a little bit of my high scores, because it's really hard to record during the gameplay. And also some narration about what I saw at Ground Control in Portland, Oregon. Keep in mind, this is new, this is this week, and this is my first time going after their remodel. So that before they had this, they had one room, one building that was just a room and an upstairs. Now they have like 4 rooms, and it's awesome. It's huge. And by the way, the day that I went on was a free-play day, so $7 admission at the door. I got in to play any game for free, as much as I wanted to, as much was available. So I got to play a lot of the games that I wanted to, and that included pinball and arcade games. Really cool. And the first game I checked out was, of course, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time, the arcade game that everyone knows and loves. The new room, the new part of the building for Ground Control. It looks great, and it sounds awesome. There's a new bar over there. And we're heading through the tunnel, which leads into the old section of Ground Control. So there's some really cool laser light, pixel light going on the wall there. Walking by some Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong Jr., which I did play both of those a little bit. And then that big glowing thing in the center is actually the new Ninja Turtles arcade. Here's some light gun games on the corner. You can see Joust going by pretty quick. I didn't really walk through very slowly, but I did cover what games I actually played, and a general layout of the arcade. Here's one of my favorite games in the arcade, Gauntlet Dark Legacy, very fun on multiplayer. There is 720, I believe. This next one, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, one of my favorite games. I actually played this here for a couple continues as well. Then on this side you got Q*bert. Let's see what else we got. We've got Dig Dug. Classic right there from Namco. We got Kung Fu Master, Aliens. I actually never played the Aliens arcade game until that day, and it's really cool. Next to Aliens, you've got Arkanoid, which is a classic Breakout style game, and it uses a really unique control setup because it has a knob dial style controller, and that controller makes it very fun to play. I played it a couple times that day. Now we're moving on to what I thought was really interesting. They had Battlezone, which, okay, you know the Battlezone controller. It's more like a tank controller. And then you've got Empire Strikes Back, and you've got Return of the Jedi next to it. Now you can see the controller that I showed you for Empire Strikes Back, and the controller for Return of the Jedi. They're all based on Atari's Battlezone controller. I once did a review on my channel of Star Wars Arcade, and I detailed that the controllers from these Star Wars games were based on the controllers from Battlezone. So if you want to learn more about that, you can check out that video on my channel. Here's Ladybug, a game that I've never really heard of or played too much. And I didn't actually play it that day, but I thought that the cabinet art was awesome. We've got some racing games. No minors beyond that point, that's where the bar is. Over here we've got Tekken Tag Tournament, one of my favorite fighting games. And we got Narc, really cool violent game. So now we're turning around, going up this glowing blue staircase with neon light strips on the stairs. Going up those into the upstairs balcony. Now this is all the older building of Ground Control, the older side that I'm more familiar with, which is basically that ground floor and this upstairs portion, which is mostly pinball games. Deadpool pinball is one of them. Over here they have even more. Pirates of the Caribbean. I think there's a Spider-Man. There's a South Park one. That one's been there for years. There's a Tron Legacy. Pretty cool. Tales from the Crypt. There's Spider-Man again. Pirates of the Caribbean. There is a few arcade games up here too, and this one's really cool. I wanted to play it, but I forgot about it, so I never got to play it that day. Baby Pac-Man. It's an arcade game, and it's a pinball game, and it's a really cool combination of the two. There's Mr. Do, or Mr. Doe, however you want to pronounce that. It's basically like a Dig Dug. There's some more pinball machines back here. Let's see, what did I look at? Carnival. I don't even know what that is. Burger Time. That's a classic, one of my favorites. Zooming in on Burger Time there. Here's another one. I think it's Robotron, yeah. Then we've got some pinball machines here. I didn't actually play any of these ones, but I played some of the ones downstairs, such as Game of Thrones and The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. But they had Terminator 2, they had Dracula, based on the 90s movie. Had some rafting one, Judge Dredd, that looked really cool. Some kind of golf one with gophers. There was also The Shadow and Attack from Mars, or is it Attack from Mars? It's kind of like Mars Attacks, but a little different. And over here we've got a really nice cabinet for Rampart, a really fun strategy arcade game that I've actually played a lot. I have it on Genesis. There's Smash TV and Soul Calibur 2, one of my favorite arcade games and one of my favorite fighting games as well. Over here we've got Final Fight from Capcom. Yeah! I thought that was really cool. Rally X, classic Namco game. There's some people playing pinball and a few open ones as well. Here is one. I remember they used to have a really old Doctor Who pinball machine, but they don't have that anymore as far as I could tell. There's a really cool Scared Stiff Elvira one, and it was actually off, so it wasn't turned on. And when I was checking out this Dance Dance Revolution over here, because you gotta have DDR, come on. The guy was actually started to work on the Elvira pinball table, so it should be up and running. If anyone's still going there, like after this video is uploaded, Elvira should be working. There's Captain America and the Avengers arcade game, and here's another Marvel one, Guardians of the Galaxy Pinball. As you can see, there was quite a lot of pinball machines here at Ground Control. I didn't even cover one of the rooms. I just realized I didn't cover one of the rooms in this entire video. There was even more pinball in that room, such as the ones that I played. I did play these ones. I played Indiana Jones, I played Theater of Magic, and I played the Monster Mash one. The Monster Mash one was actually really cool, and it featured every time you hit a monster activator, the monster's actual like action figure or the model of the monster would come out on the pinball machine's board, and I thought that was really cool. Here's some other arcade games, random ones. Paperboy with the cool bicycle handle controller. You got this Pac-Man Namco collection arcade cabinet, Raiden, Mario Bros from Nintendo, and I played some Mario Brothers as well, and I got to the high score leaderboards. Now it's not really that high of a score, but it was the highest for that day. And I entered my initials wrong, so instead of HBG for Happy Bird Games, it was just HHH. Whoops. Then we went back to Return of the Jedi, and I actually played this quite a lot. I wish I had it all recorded, but I do have my high score coming up pretty soon. I wasn't able to complete the game play fully, but I did complete a lot further than I actually had before in the past. So I made it to the part where you're on the AT-ST walkers as Chewbacca, going to the shield bunker, and then you go through the Millennium Falcon on the second Death Star. And it doesn't do that on the first wave. It doesn't do the AT-ST part on the first wave, so this was like the second wave of the game. And the hardest thing about it was the controller was really kind of weird for that gameplay, because it's a 2D side-scrolling, but it's diagonally. So I felt like I was slamming the controller back and forth to control the character. Then there had this really weird game that was not just a racing game, it was a racing game and also had a light gun as well, so it's got a gun and a steering wheel. Weird, and it was right next to Crazy Taxi. I also played some Tetris, because I love Tetris in the arcades. I got my high score on there as Happy Bird Games. There was also Tetris Plus, which was a Tetris game that was on the PlayStation. So that was it for my experience at Ground Control Classic Arcade in Portland, Oregon last week. It is definitely my favorite arcade of all time, and I've been going there for at least 10 years. So it's really cool to see it evolve and change and grow with not just new games, but new building space, and still become my favorite arcade of all time, Ground Control. I definitely recommend checking out that place. If you haven't been there yet, first check out their website to see a list of what games they have and what activities are going on. It might even be a free play day, which is really cool, and I think I saved maybe $5 to $10 by having it be a free play day. Alright everybody, thanks for watching today's Happy Beard Games. If you like this video, please be sure to subscribe, leave a like, leave me a comment, let me know what you think, and share this video with your friends. Also, you can check me out on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, of which I have pages for all. Alright guys, thanks for watching once again. Bye!